What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for a play the ratings again for a win. Good ratings coming your way, I guess. This time for a close win against Cagliari, 2-1. There were some very good performances. I don't think there was a performance for me personally that I was like, oh my god, that was a disaster. I don't think there were any of those performances, but there were some performances where it was like that's not enough. But there were also performances where I was like that was excellent. We're gonna dive into it straight away. Before we do that, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let's go. Okay, as we usually start, center backs and goalkeeper. I gave Chesney 6.5. I didn't rewatch that first goal. I had a feeling, and I probably should have rewatched it, that he took the wrong step, maybe a little bit, and that's why he couldn't save it. Maybe I'm being too harsh. Again, I haven't rewatched it, but he had nothing to do besides keeping it 2-1 at the end. That's the only thing. I give him a 6.5 because he needed to make that one save. Other than that, it was a very boring game for him, in my opinion. And that's because the guys playing in front of them. Gatti, 6.5, might be a bit too much, some might say. I thought he had a good game, especially moving forward, which is weird, but that's what he does. Was close to a goal. Actually, that was very good header. Maybe a bit too much on it, but defensively was good. He was dominant. His passing is not good, but we know that none of the center backs can pass. Not even Danilo, who's out, or Alexandro. But we know that. That's what it is. Defensively, I thought he was sound. So 6. Bremer and Ugani, 2 MVPs. 7 for me. Maybe Bremer was a bit better, maybe, but I think Rugani deserves the recognition I gave him the last weeks. I said he will fill in and he will do perfectly. They both got a goal, both from a set piece. The Bremer one was excellent. Like, that was a tough header, and he took that very, very well. And we needed that, obviously, because we were not going to break the... should I say break down Cagliari? I don't think they were that solid, but we couldn't create anything. So let's call it breakdown. We needed that from Bremer. So happy for Bremer because he's having a very good season. Last season wasn't so good. He had good moments. He had very bad moments. I think it's consistent now. I think he's playing at a very high level, which we all thought he would do. And yeah, credit to him. Happy for him because he's playing well. Same for Rugani. A lot of people criticize him, me included, and I think rightfully so. But when he steps in, usually he does very well. And then, okay, in the past, he has a game where it's a complete disaster and everybody's like, okay, fairy tale is over, back to the bench. But as of now, there are no options. And I think he's playing very well. Defensively, the goal scoring, good. He has that in him, so I'm happy for him. Happy for both of them. Those were my MVPs. You can say Bremer was a bit better, Rugani, whatever. But for me, those were my MVPs of the game. Let's move on to the midfield, where I gave Cambiaso a 5.5. Like I said, I don't think he had a disaster of a game, but I don't think also he had a very good game. It was a bit confusing, and maybe it's because he was on the right-hand side, and usually it's linking up with Chiesa and whatever. Could be the case. He wasn't that influential. I think defensively it was a bit off at times, but just in general, like he didn't have a very not good impact, but like he didn't have much of an impact, if that's fair to say, compared to how he played usually, in my opinion. Again, not a disaster of a game, but also not a game where I'm like, okay, that's wow. And 6 for me is you had an okay game. You had a good game. 7 is like, okay, you were very good. 8 is like crazy. So that's why I gave him a 5.5. It wasn't a disaster. It wasn't that good as well. It was just same. Same for Miretti. I thought he was very, very anonymous for our entire midfield, by the way. I thought they were very anonymous, which is weird because you play a very bad side. He was very anonymous, Miretti, and he rightfully was subbed off. I don't think he had I don't think he had a disaster of a game, but also there was no impact. Same for Cambiasso, in my opinion. Like there was no impact from these players, and same for Locatelli. I don't think he had a good game. I think he took a step back compared to the previous games. Like that's my criticism for him, and especially in these type of games. Like he was playing a few long balls in the first half. They were not coming off, and I was like, stop doing it now. You gave the ball away a few times. Just keep it clean, keep it simple now. And they didn't dominate that midfield, or like they didn't get overrun, but with the possession and whatever they had, they didn't do enough. Like they didn't do enough. So 5.5 for me. McKennie, 6.5. I thought he was very good. Defensively. Like the work rate is through the roof. It was, especially in the first half, that was a bit more evident, in the first half, in my opinion, especially the defensive part of his game. I thought he was very good overall. So 6.5. I'm not gonna slate him. Everybody knows what I think about McKennie in general. Allegri said something very telling on McKennie, which I was shocked he did, but he said, but I'm not going to discuss that in this video because I want to give him his credit. He is playing well this season compared to what I expect him to show based on the previous season. So 6.5 for me. I thought he had a very good game. Kostic, 6. He had 1 assist, maybe 2. Rugani gave that assist to his own at the end. But repeat myself, I don't hate Kostic. When he came in, I was like, he is gonna give you numbers, and that's what he's doing. I know what Kostic will offer. I also know what Kostic will not offer, and that's being involved in the game, linking up, beating his man. That's just not who he is. He is very vital for us in set pieces, and at this moment in time, we heavily rely on these moments, to create danger. So, on that regard, you can say, yeah, Allegri's right to play him because that's how we play. Like that's what is very key and important for us. However, if you look at what you want, or me personally, on the eye, moving forward, that's not what I want. But he got the numbers again, so I cannot really slate him for that. I can say that it's just in game. How do you want to call it? Like in game contribution to the game I want to see is not there. To the game maybe Allegri wants to see and how we want to play, fine, okay. But 6, he got the number, but overall, I didn't think he had a very good game impact-wise, but, that's who we are now. Oh, oops, that's not good. Attacking, Keane and Chiesa, 5.5. They were poor. They were not good at all. They were anonymous. They were living off scraps. When they had possession, they kind of make some wrong decisions. After the game, Allegri said they need to stay calm, not be frustrating. At the start of the season, they were helping us, and now it's the others. We played kind of differently in the start of the season. We closed up shop now. Like, we are very conservative at this moment in time. We were not that at the start of the season, and that's the difference. That's just a difference. At the start of the season, we took some more risk. We tried to play on the front foot in certain games, and that's why these attacking players, had a different life. Now we're extremely conservative, and that's why they're struggling. It's not moments. Like Allegri can say it's moments, because he said, look at the start of the season and now. It's not that. We changed the mindset, the mentality. That's why the attackers are struggling. It will only change if we open up a little bit, because Chiesa was not involved for the second game in a row at all. There was a point again in the game, I was like, oh, snap, he's on the pitch. Same what I had with Miretti. I was like, he's on the pitch. They're not going to get involved. They're not being involved in the play. They're running around. And I was like, that's sad, because he is your most talented player, and he is a player that needs to be put in a position to make a difference. But the way we play, it's not going to happen at all. So 5 for me, 5.5, for both. They had a very bad game, both of them. They weren't good. Let's move on to the subs. And Junior, he's alive. We've seen Junior, and again, every time I see Junior play, I'm like, okay, that's just fun. It's fun. Something's gonna happen. He wants to take on his man, whatever. Like, it's something different. And I thought he had a positive impact. The energy he brings, the movement, whatever. Probably should have done better with that Vlahovic thing, where Vlahovic did something very good, by beating his man on that sideline. He probably should have done much better with that shot. He got there, put some power at it, but I don't get why Junior is not playing. I don't get why he's not getting minutes. When you see him play, he can play. Like, he's not a scrub. Like, he can offer you something, and I think it's criminal that he's not being used, because he can have an impact. So 6 for me, Vlahovic, Milik, Hans, 5.5. Hans, yeah, I think he played like 5-6 minutes, so 5. Like, I don't know if he even touched the ball, to be honest. So 5. Happy for him, I guess, that he came off the pitch. I still think he needs to leave for his own sake. He needs to play. Milik did well, holding up play, dropping in midfield, relieving some pressure. Vlahovic, same with Keane and Chiesa. There was not much to get involved with. He did that. He beat his man good on the sideline, put that in for Junior, who should have done better. But overall, what I said last season, a lot of attacking players will struggle in this team. Like, it is what it is. It's how we play. They will get very limited involved, and when they better need to make it count, because if not, people will look at the few times they are in possession or in certain positions, and they will slate you for it. However, they're not being involved as much as needed to actually say, okay, now you have a very poor game, because look at what you got and look what you offered. But that's my prediction. That's my ratings for the Verona game. That's true. For the Cagliari game. Let me know yours in the comments. You can disagree, which is fair. You can agree, but let me know. Keep it clean. And yeah, thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe. Live show Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I'll be back live on Monday. Until then, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you guys. Ciao.